So I do have a story.
Oh, you want to lead with the story?
Well, it was just a funny story. So,
Okay.
Are we live, Dom? So, do you guys do Elf on the Shelf?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair warning.
Yeah.
My kids, we have Elf on the Shelf. We have forgotten to put it out for about 3 days.
Oh.
And my daughter, Clara, keeps going, so, Daddy, when do you think the elf's coming back? And I'm like, oh, yeah, Elf on the Shelf. I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
like, oh, crap, I forgot
Right.
this. Oops. All right, so Leo's got us. So anyways, so the elf comes back last night. Claire's been telling me for about a full day. She's like, I am so terrified. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I see it for the first time. I'm going to probably be startled. I'm going to be nervous. So the elf appears last night. She gets up to go to the bathroom, sees the elf, panics.
In the middle of the night.
This was at like 11:30 at night.
Okay. Yeah.
This is like 11:30 at night. But so then the kids keep screaming down to me because they're afraid the elf's in the hallway. And they have to go to the bathroom, they need water, but the elf's out there. So all of a sudden, the elf has become a massive source of anxiety in our house. Is where will the elf be? And will I be alone when I see the elf? Will the elf... Anyway, so we're having to deal with Elf on the Shelf issues at home right now. That's my story.
We never did it with it was not around with our kids.
No, I never grew up with Elf on the Shelf. But I'm just saying, like, kids can develop weird...
Yes.
So we have an Elf on the Shelf issue. I think we're going to get over it.
I would have been into that totally if my kids were little. Oh, I would have had a riot with it.
Okay. So we are live.
Okay.
With Laurie Zokoe.
We're here with Laurie Zokoe today.
Yep.
The Laurie Zokoe team. Right?
Yes.
So I first want to start out with a rumor that I heard.
Oh, man.
Were you like the apple orchard queen or prom queen?
No.
Were you homecoming queen?
Homecoming queen?
I always
wasn't
thought,
even popular.
I
This
always
was
thought
a
you were
rumor.
homecoming
No.
queen, and I thought that you were married to the star quarterback.
Yeah.
No.
That's the rumor.
No.
That's what I was like.
Did you marry your high school sweetheart?
Well, we dated when I was 16, and then I didn't like him, so I went on to date one of his friends for several years. We double dated all the time. But he had girlfriends, I had a boyfriend.
All right.
Then one day we kind of looked at each other and said, hey.
Hi.
Okay. Well, there's
we could try this again.
There it
But
is.
you weren't
right
the homecoming
No,
queen? Or
no.
And where did you go to school around
Coopersville.
here?
Yeah, Coopersville girl.
Coopersville.
All 12 years.
Bronco.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we were talking about holidays. Do you have any special like traditions you do, like a favorite food, or you're going to be here for
I'm here for Christmas, yes.
Because you have family.
Yeah, we have a lot of
grandbabies.
tradition. 2 grandbabies, 3 and 1. Yeah.
Nice.
What are their
Typically,
names? Boys, girls? What
Nora's 3 and Lennon's 1.5. And Wednesday afternoons I actually babysit. So Alyssa's filling in for me right now.
All right. Thanks for
Yeah.
hanging out with us.
Oh my
on
gosh,
here.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
So I started when the first one was born, and committed to 3 months, and here I am.
That's awesome.
3.5 years later, still doing
So
it.
do you deck your house out? Do you have a big tree?
We have 3 trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have the back entry is a grandkid area. And that's all very traditional. And then I have my other trees.
Okay,
Yeah, we have
all
a
right.
lot of decorations. We had AAA Lawn Care. I'll put a plug in for them. They did your lights too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So
I have to call
have you
them
driven
back,
by my
though.
house still?
I need to drive by your house.
I have more lights than you.
This is my first year doing it. Maybe
Me too.
Maybe I'll
My
okay,
first
so
year too.
you were like, let's go big.
Yeah, I went-
Christmas Wonderland.
Yeah, I have a lot of lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Those
I'm gonna
blow
drive
up
by and I'm
things or
gonna
no?
send the picture to my wife and be like, hey, we gotta step it up.
My daughter says there's a glow in the northwest sky from Standale.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's
Oh,
great.
gosh.
So, Laurie, tell us a little bit about how long you've been in real estate. Kind of like how you started,
Yeah.
maybe?
So I checked into it when my youngest was 2, and Scott is now 24. And Sharon Gorder, who's an agent, told me my kids were too little.
Okay.
And that was good advice in hindsight. So I waited about another 5 years, and I worked for my brother. I was an office manager of his tool and die shop. I grew with his business, but still wanted to do real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Never gave it up, and literally left church one day and kind of had the moment. I said to my husband, I'm going to do this. I'm doing real estate. And I had the ability to quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
I went and quit my job, got licensed, and went cold turkey.
So this
Yeah.
was 20 years ago, 10?
2002.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
January 2002 is when I got licensed.
16, 17 years.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Is that about what you are too?
I was licensed in 99, but didn't sell anything until 2000.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't sell anything for 6 months either.
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months, nothing.
Who are you with?
I was with Century 21, Pearson
21.
Quick right here in Standale. Melinda came into there. Marcy Swanson came into there.
Oh, wow.
We all came over here
Melinda
together.
Robinson?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So my first 6 months just were, my broker told me to be dressed, my car clean, and be in the office every day 9 to 3, and that's what I did.
So what happened when you went from no sales to, like, what was the first aha moment you had from, like, 6 months of no sales? I mean, there's probably multiple aha moments through your career, but what's the first one?
Well, luckily my grandma decided to sell her house, so that ended my 6 month of
got some
not doing
momentum
nothing.
there.
Yeah, that was my momentum, and I was actually dual agent my first transaction.
Okay.
Okay.
Don, I hope you're not listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Didn't even know what it was really,
Right,
to be
right, of
honest.
course, yeah.
You know.
Sure.
But started there, and then it was just a slow process. Back then we did floor time. I got a walk in, and I said I didn't want them. I'm like, no, I didn't. I was scared of it.
Yeah,
do
Who
it.
are they?
I don't want that. I'm not ready. Long story short, they're still a client. I've probably done 10 transactions for them.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Nice.
it was a slow start.
But about 6 months in, sale number one, double dip, and then it just sort of picked up slowly or picked up quickly?
Slowly, really slow. Yeah, my goal was eventually to sell one house a month.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
My first year, I wanted
How long did you, first year you hit that goal?
Yeah, I think I sold like 6 houses the first month.
So
Yeah.
So 6 months in, you sold 6 more houses?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very slow. We didn't have a lot of training back then.
Yeah.
You were on your own. It was sink or swim.
Yeah. There was no real digital marketing to speak of?
None, no. The computer had really nothing.
No. Wasn't even
Nothing.
part of real estate back then?
No, really wasn't part of it. You know, I went to a few classes that they made us go to, but
Yep.
otherwise you did a lot of open houses.
Yep.
And you just kind of got
Hustled.
You just you used to go knock on doors and pray nobody answered.
I know.
I'd knock really soft and run.
You're pretty well known too, though, right, in the Northwest side?
I am.
Because you grew up here.
I did. I actually live within 2 miles of where I grew up. My husband and I we built our first house in Granville, spent 5 years in Granville and felt like we were on the other side of the world. And we moved back to a home that was less than a mile from where I grew up.
Yeah.
He grew up here too, right in Standale.
Okay.
So we're
Nice.
both real homebodies.
Yeah. And now you're Laurie Zokoe. You know, you...
Or Zokoe.
Zokoe.
Depending
Zokies
on
sometimes, yes. I get a
who
lot
you're
of
talking
Zokies,
to.
yeah.
And so you're like, I don't know if you know the stats, but I assume you do, that you're the number 2 agent in the company.
Yeah.
So how do you go from, you know, was it just a gradual climb? Was it something switched? How does that happen?
It was very gradual. Even when I came over to 5-star, I wasn't that busy. It started getting busier then, really, when I came over here. That's when
What year was that about? Just so I know, like, what kind of
5
market we're in.
years. Yeah, I came in 5 years ago, or 5 years into the business.
5 years into the business.
So about 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have gotten in the business around the same time as you.
Yeah, that's when I came over here. Yep.
So the market's going about ready to tip.
Yeah, I was lucky. I've grown. This is my first year. My numbers haven't gotten higher than the year before. I've grown every year, even through the recession.
Yeah.
I grew. But
Yeah. I remember that.
yeah.
I remember it happened, and it just kept going, and it was like...
But I adapted.
Yeah.
Short sales were the thing. Remember, I went to Florida and took that short sale class.
Mhm.
I went to a 4-day class all day long,
Mhm.
and I kind of became
Oh my
a
gosh.
short sale person. I mean, I spent hours on the phone with banks.
Remember the short sale mediation companies that popped up
Yes.
everywhere?
Yeah.
And
I never used
You
those.
never used them?
I did my own.
Okay.
I
It's a
made
lot
all
of
my own
work.
phone calls, hours on the phone. You know.
Can you tell us a little bit about, like, you have a team,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a couple questions for this. One of them was, how is your team structured? I mean, like, do you buy leads? Do you share stuff? How is it structured? People structure their teams differently.
So,
And so
Madison is my full-time office girl.
Okay.
And then I have Alyssa and Molly currently, and they are, I don't really call them buyer's agents because I allow my team members to list.
Mhm.
So they list and sell. Yes, I do buy from Zillow.
Okay.
I'm open book. I spend about $2,500 a month on Zillow.
Okay.
Molly's the only one that takes those leads, though. We used to have another member of the team, but she left. So currently, Molly's the only one taking the leads. Alyssa does all referral business of her own.
And you're all referral.
I'm all referral.
Yeah.
All referral.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So Molly has quite a business between the Zillow and her personal
And her
stuff.
own referrals as well.
And her own referrals.
And so your team you've done over 150 transactions. Do they take it from sale to close? Does Madison help out in the middle?
Madison only does my stuff.
Okay.
Alyssa and Molly don't want to give up their paperwork.
Yep.
They want to take it from start to finish. So
Okay.
we've talked about different options there.
Sure.
Not that I wouldn't do that, but currently they don't want to. So
Okay.
Concept. The other thing that's interesting to me is, and maybe you can speak, you'll share a little bit, you have a daughter, so a family, because a lot of people are like, hey, I want my kids to be in business with me.
Yeah.
And then Scott was, your son, he was for a time.
5 years Scott was here with me.
5 years.
Yeah,
So what is that like to have a team, like you have pressure to sell and produce and kind of ride the momentum out and stuff like that, but you also have to be mom.
Yes. So with Alyssa and I, it works very well.
Okay.
We've gotten there, but it's also been it was a year or two with Todd Anderson to get us there. We had to, as you're a family business, we had to work through the dynamics of. I couldn't remember that I had to forget her college days. She had to forget sometimes that I'm mom.
Yeah.
We had to, realize each of us, in a professional.
Alyssa just chimed in. I mean, she's watching.
Is she watching? Yeah, I'm sure she is.
So.
I think that in a family situation, it's so close, and you carry so much stuff from your entire history together. You have to eventually just sort of decide that you see all of the benefits of each other, and you can move past anything that might irk you from the past, and you have to just choose a new way. For me, at least, it was like you have to find a new way to work together. It's like a new thing.
We did, yes. Yeah.
And it evolves.
Yeah, it evolves.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, it's awesome.
What's been the biggest struggle you've had? I mean, either through building a team or struggling with all of a sudden going from, having a healthy business to extremely busy, because you said you kind of, you kept kind of going, and did it read? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, so my struggle has been always time management and just getting things done, getting back to people. Yeah. It's typically overwhelming. I mean, every day I'm like, I didn't get to everything I needed to get to. So it's a struggle with having a full-time assistant to do that, because everybody's like, well, you have an assistant. Even my husband will say that. Well, you have a team. You have an assistant. Well, that does, as much as they help you, there's still a lot that gets left for me to do. A lot of details. So that's always been a struggle. And when you do go to a team setting and you have an assistant, it's a struggle the struggle we've had, with previous team assistants. Allison was with me for 5 years, and it was the knowledge that's in my head every day all along, and she's on the emails, she's doing this. How do you get this to her, to that person? Yeah. That's been a struggle.
And it takes some time to build up that level of trust.
Yeah.
With that admin person to feel like they know how to channel the inner Laurie here.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the trust and the details that happen when I'm out and about, that I'm on a phone call, then I forget to tell them. So that's been our biggest struggle, is just, trying to, and that's been the struggle with every assistant. Yeah. So it's just
on the flip side, a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but please, what do you think that you're good at? Like, what's not been a struggle, or what is one of your, like, it's okay, I'm really good at this part of real estate.
I'm good at the relationship part of it.
So talking to people,
talking to people. Yeah, when I go to their house, and I'll tell them, we have a pool in the summertime. You can call me Saturday afternoon, but I'll answer it. But there's going to be kids and stuff splashing in the background. I'll go somewhere and talk to you quietly. Yeah. But I'm real. I have a life too. Yeah. I let people know that I have a life. I'm going to be in Florida, but I'll answer my phone. Yeah. Yeah. So
you're good at that.
I try to tell them, the relationship part of it.
Yeah.
What's a listing like with you, Laurie? If I were to call you over to my house and I wanted you to list my house, what would your flow be?
I do it in one step. A lot of people do two step. I typically do one step if it works out. I do all my homework.
So you show up, price, list.
Yes. Yeah.
Or show up, price. You come with paperwork?
Yes. Okay. Yep. I'm ready to go. Okay. So I do my research ahead of time. If need be, quite often I'll go drive by the house. And see the neighborhood, see the house. Is there a junky car in the driveway? Is it well cared for? How's it look?
Is it mostly Northwest?
Mostly Northwest, yes.
So you know this area.
I know this area, so
really well.
It makes it easy. And then I typically try to always just walk through the house with them first, come in, take my shoes off, and instead of going right to the table, I like to walk through the house, and my assistants laugh at my notes because I've got my notepad and I'm just writing. Mm-hmm. I lost a listing 15 years ago once. My broker told me, you lost it because you didn't take enough notes. Well, I'll never lose a listing again that way because I flipped my paper.
Yeah.
She said, even if you're writing,
you're drawing pictures.
Yeah.
Floor plan.
Floor plan.
Whatever. You're busy. Whatever. You're busy.
I'm busy
taking it in.
And my notes are messy.
Yeah.
They're hard to decipher later for somebody who hasn't been there because I'm talking the whole time. And
that's actually a really good tip.
Yeah. So. So I have I'm flipping. I have 4 or 5 pages of notes, and they don't see them. They don't know that how much is on that page really.
But they know you're actively engaging with their house and with them right now.
Well, sometimes that can take a half hour. Depends on the house. 15 minutes to a half hour. That gives you 15 minutes to a half hour to. Oh, look at how cute your dog is, and
So you're building that relationship whole time you're taking those notes.
It's more about that.
Yeah.
I'm finding out who's leading, is it the husband, the wife, who's in charge,
You're breaking down any sort of barriers, you're building rapport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Then I typically get to the table, then we go to the table, sit down. Then I'll start with typically comparables, talking about their house. Now, once in a while you come into a house, you're like, oh shoot, I'm off. This is not what I thought it was.
Yeah. That might turn into a 2-step.
That would turn into a 2-step. Because one time I didn't turn it into a 2-step and I didn't get the listing, because the house did surprise me. There was a whole huge addition off the back that they didn't tell me about and I wasn't prepared for. And their 150 was really a 260.
Right.
And I wasn't prepared and I tried to wing it and I messed it up. So
but that's like you have to learn that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the hard way, right? You're like,
shoot.
But now you'll never make the mistake.
So then I would turn it into a 2-step.
So say it's all going well, do you have how do you close?
So you typically, by this point, I know what their timeline is. And I try to find out before I even get there. Are you just having me, I have a pile of folders on my desk right now.
Yeah.
These people are all going to list, most of them are going to list at some point. But a lot of people have you come out, we want to know a month from now or 6 months from now we're going to list. Can you tell us what color we should paint our living room? So I go meet with them, and then I don't. I know ahead of time. I'm just going out there to meet and greet. I call those.
So it's interesting. You're actually setting expectations before you even get there. Should I bring? You're basically figuring out, am I bringing paperwork with me?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I think some agents might just take the meeting. Oh, they called. I better go out there. Yeah. Don't ask too many questions. Oh,
yeah.
But I think that's interesting to sort of you're actually preparing them to be ready to sign.
A lot of times they call me and I went on one a couple weeks ago and she's like, I just want you to stop by, right in the area here. Yeah. She just wanted me to come by, see if she was doing what their son lived there, now they're going to sell it. What should we do? Blah, blah, blah. And they kind of told me they might do for sale by owner. I'm like, great, no problem. I'll stop by. Mm-hmm. I stopped by and I told her even that day, she wanted me to come right that day. And I said, I've got a 15-minute window right now. It's real close to the office. So she had the expectation I was going to be in and out in 15 minutes, and they're listing.
Wow.
But I went there, told her what, gave her ideas, and she wanted some comparables, and the house actually was a little nicer than I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. I said, you know what, I want to go back and tweak my numbers a little. Yep. I went back, tweaked her, called her a few hours later.
Boom.
And she called me this week, and we're going to list.
Nice.
So now when I go next time, I know bring the paperwork. But I knew that time not even to bring it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if you're doing a lot of your business on one appointment, you got to assumptively close or have something that triggers that to go, when do we start?
Right. So. Sometimes I just have to ask, are you ready to list now, or is this something you're going to wait? Sometimes you actually have to ask the question.
Yeah, I like that. Do a little digging.
Yeah.
Do a little qualifying to figure out where you're at. And
yeah. Sometimes I'm walking through and I'm like, are they doing this now? You don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Do you work with buyers at all?
A few.
A few?
Yeah.
They have to
mainly.
Especially request you?
Especially request me, or a past client that's, close to me.
Yeah.
Or a referral, direct referral. That is the one thing you got to be careful with a team. I went on a listing appointment about 2 years ago, and I won the listing, and the lady told me I had no intentions of hiring you. My girlfriend told me I should call you, and you can't. So I did, and I said, great. So I went out there. The other agent didn't show up. He sent somebody else. he sent one of his listing coordinators, or whatever he calls them.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, I just sold the daughter a house. We just closed last week, and now my client's husband just passed away, and I'll be listing their house in Spring Lake. It's because I showed up. So I have to be really careful with that, with a team. Mm-hmm. There's times where, and Molly watches my leads come through, and she'll send me an email that says, Laurie, they want you. You know?
How do you guys determine that? How do you figure out if someone really needs you, or if they would be like, oh no, send out Delissa, send out Molly, I mean, because some people are like, oh, Laurie, we totally gonna work with you no matter who you send out, right?
Right, totally.
So how do you determine that?
Sometimes we just have to ask the question. Okay. Now Molly, gets all of our website leads. Everything goes through the email. We have calls them, talks to them, and sometimes they'll just say, we want. And there was one just a few weeks ago too, that they only wanted me.
Okay.
So then Molly's like, I'll have Laurie call you. She's out on appointments right now, so I answer her emails for, Molly knows how to cover.
Okay, good.
And then they get me.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll say, hey, I'm gone this week. Is it okay if Molly comes? And they're like, sure, that's great.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've grown your business over time. It's kind of morphed and changed and stuff like that. And you have a coach.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, I use Todd Anderson. Yep, he's awesome.
Give a shout out to Todd.
Todd Anderson.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And is there any kind of software you use? Are you a top producer person, or is it all paper? I've seen
I'm a lot of paper. I'm very visual. We use Realty Juggler for our CRM.
Okay.
And then we use 5 Street for lead management.
Okay.
But we still have paper files. I go on a listing appointment. I have a folder made I have listing presentation folders and buyer presentation folders.
Yep.
I leave that. And I know a lot of agents don't, but I've won listings by, you leave them this packet, and I package it all up. I put all their comps in there and I hand it to them. They feel like they got something from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though it's a bunch of scratch paper later, but for
Some
me that works.
Some people think there's a secret sauce or a secret to real estate, like having the success and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that, or do you think there is?
No, I don't think
there's
what would
be your secret?
My if I have a secret, is probably I was brought up that if you have work, you go to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So in fact, in the last 6 to 12 months, everybody said you need to slow down. I hear it from my family, my parents, my husband, my kids, and finally I said to Todd Anderson, that's just not me. Yeah. I'm not gonna
You're not a slow person.
Well, and I'm not gonna turn business down, because pretty soon it's gonna be, well, don't call her. She said she's too busy.
Right.
Yeah. So like Todd said, this is actually great. We just have to figure out how to change everybody around you. Yeah. Pretty much, I'm not going to change. Mm-hmm. So everybody around me's we got to figure out how to adapt them around me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Todd's like, it's not a bad problem. No. You just have to figure it out.
Yeah. And it makes sense if what you think and I think you are too, good at real estate is building that relationships. Then you have to engage that. Yeah. And the more you do that, you can't say no, because then you're not in relationship.
It's just not even how I was brought up.
You're just you're focusing on what you're really good at.
Yeah.
And then that's just expanding and expanding. Yeah. There's no off switch with it.
Laurie, if you were able to go back and talk to yourself when you first started in real estate, or a year or two into real estate, what is the thing? What would you tell yourself?
I wish I would have known how to become more organized, as far as even my client list. I didn't have a client list till probably 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And I still don't mail to it like I should.
Yeah.
That's one of the goals for 2019 for me, is to actually start doing a monthly newsletter to everybody.
Some sort of follow-up, kind of a program or communication program.
Right. There were several years ago that I had to have, I hired, in fact, she worked for your dad, this Stephanie and her friend.
Okay.
They went up, sat in my pole barn in boxes of files, and wrote names and addresses down.
Yeah.
So that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
No, but nobody trained me to do that. I didn't know.
Back then, I don't think people weren't really thinking about it like they are now.
Right.
This concept of a CRM, Top Producer was it, and Top Producer wasn't even connected to the web.
Right.
It was on a computer that you had that was 10 years old.
I
sat
had
in the corner.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And I put everybody's name, and then it just sat there. Oh, that was fun. I mean, what good did that do me? I paid money for nothing.
Yeah.
And I've paid a lot of money over the years for stuff that I don't use.
Yeah.
So one of my assistants once would not let me take my checkbook in to all the different things we'd go to. She's like, leave your checkbook in the car, because she knows if I saw something cool, I'd buy it.
Okay.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, has there been any like aha moments or little tidbits of wisdom that have been real important to you that you've picked up?
Well, one of my first aha moments was my first broker said to me, "Don't get connected to the paycheck." You know, and back then my husband was laid off lost his job at Steelcase. We had 3 little hungry kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you don't know how bad I need a paycheck.
Yeah.
But I never did I tried not to be connected to that paycheck.
Yep.
Just do what's right.
Yep.
And sometimes doing what's right costs you money. You know.
Yeah.
Your new mom, you know, I had a young mom move into a home because they had 30 days possession. The hot water heater went out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't read the purchase agreement well.
Yeah.
And this was years ago.
Yeah.
And guess who bought a hot water heater?
Yeah.
And guess who'll never do that again?
Yeah.
You know, now I have wording in my purchase agreement that
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to buy a hot water heater.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
So
That's good.
But you learn. But that was the right thing to do. And I just closed on a 450 house with that same client yesterday, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
So they come back. If you do what's right, they come back to you.
That's a really good thing to carry with you, because there are so many times where something simple is going on. Like, you know, I don't want to call anyone out, but like I've had moments where I'm talking with an agent from the company and they're like, gosh, man, this other agent, you know, their clients made the carpet filthy, you know, and when they were moving out, now the carpet's all dirty.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling us they're not going to clean it. Shouldn't they clean it? I'm going to call their broker. And so throughout the conversation, we realized, like, well, this is actually an opportunity for you to win.
Right.
Because you just get the carpet cleaned for them
Yes.
and put a little bow on it for them and show them that you were willing to go the extra
Yeah.
mile. You know,
Yeah.
so that's where you just sometimes you got to, like, lead that way. And as you
Yeah.
say, if you take care of them, it'll come back 10 times.
It does,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Sometimes you have to hire a dumpster. Sometimes you have to hire a cleaning lady,
Yep.
you know, or electrician. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'll do a shout out to the viewers here. If you have a question, this would be the time to ask Laurie. I have like just one more question for you.
Okay.
Actually, that was 30 minutes.
Okay.
That was 30 minutes, Laurie.
Okay. Wow.
She was nervous about
Yes.
feeling 30
This
Did
minutes.
it
Not
feel
my
like 30
thing.
or did it feel like less?
It felt like less.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
So do you have any words of advice for either someone who is, you know, goes, I need the check.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
can't
They do,
own, they
yeah.
can't own that.
Right.
That piece of advice. So do you have other piece of advice that you could encourage them with, or someone maybe who's been new and or someone who's like, I got a good business but I want to go next level?
Right.
What would you focus on? What would you tell them?
I'd probably go back to kind of the basics, but you have to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Open houses. I
Yeah.
mean, when I was new in the business, I did a ton of open houses.
Mhm.
Now I rarely do one now,
Yeah.
but I did all the time. I did open houses, and so many people. You know, the problem is you're planting seeds, and it takes. You know, some seeds don't grow as fast as others.
Mhm.
But those people who you're meeting at an open house, if you make an impression on them, they will call you at
Mhm.
some point. You
Mhm.
know, you just don't realize when.
I heard another rumor about you.
But especially, Laurie, if you're holding open houses all over the Northwest Side,
Uh-huh.
there's a chance you're going to see them more than once.
I have. And,
You're going to see them from this open
and
house
I'll be
that
honest,
open
I
house
probably
and-
should host them more. It probably would be great for me to do that because
Mhm.
quite often I'll hear whoever hosts, especially if somebody on my team, yeah, somebody came, they were looking for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hear that.
So open houses.
Go to the same places. You know, I go to the Walker Roadhouse. That's kind of my territory. You know, the gas station on the corner. When I get my Diet Cokes, I've sold 6 houses from people who work at the gas station. You know,
Mhm.
they're like,
Mhm.
"You're a realtor," and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
That's
so-
what I heard. You
yeah.
go to the same gas station and then the bank
Yep.
and the Walker Roadhouse. These are places where you're living your life,
Yep.
but they know you as someone to help them with real estate.
Yep. I go and I try to kind of like shop local, or you know, with people in Standale. I tried the
Yeah.
same dry cleaner, the same
My-
oil change place.
This is funny, Laurie. Like, when we drive around, my kids know your face. They're like, oh, there's Laurie, there's Laurie. Like, literally, they're like,
Yeah.
there's Laurie, there's
That was
Laurie,
the
there's
best
Laurie.
thing I ever did is put my picture on my sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was and Paul knows how, like when they unveiled the new signs several years ago.
We were like, we need a picture on
but
there.
you didn't. Remember you?
The first one, I don't think did have
No,
a picture.
you had
We
it
were like,
covered. Remember you unveiled it?
oh, yeah.
And I remember what I said under my breath. I might as well go back to Center 21.
Yeah.
Because it was 5-star with it wasn't going to have photos. Yeah. And I lost sleep over your sign.
No, that first sign was really,
yeah.
I told Greg to pull the plug on it. He was like, we're going forward. But anyways,
yeah,
we adjusted.
But you did, totally. Yeah, okay. And that's awesome because you guys always listen to us.
But yeah, they see your face all over. Yeah. They know your face. They can spell your name.
Yep. And you can advertise without spending a ton of money. Mm-hmm. We just met with one of our clients that does a development, and he spends thousands a month, and we're like, well, I do New Beginnings, like the placemat ads. Yep. I mean, it's, I don't know, a couple $100 for a quarter, and I get 10,000, placemats put out there.
And we see you every time we get ice cream.
Ice cream garage, yeah.
So
that's a 3-year commitment, okay. And it comes out to $500 a year.
Yeah.
So then people.
But we always see you there.
Yeah. So people are saying they see me everywhere. Well, it's just these little imprints you make. You don't need a billboard.
You pick kind of like insider places too, like the ice cream garage, like the placemat over at New Beginnings. Like these are the places where the same kind of people who live here are from here,
right.
Who spend time. I mean, they see your signs and they see you on the wall and they see you on the placemat. It makes this big connection.
And it was it just happened.
Yeah. I
didn't, nobody told me this is what you need to do. But now looking at it, it is what I need to do.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Micah Childress says, if you had to do it all over again, would you build a team and would it be large or would you keep it small?
Yes, I'd do it again, and yes, I'd keep it small.
So
I have no desire.
This is about the size you would have done it over again, right? Like
yeah.
This.
I mean, I'll always be 4 to 6.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably at our small end right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So 4 to 6 is managed for me. Yeah. I don't desire a mega team.
Yeah. Okay. So. There you have it, Micah.
There you got it.
Yep.
Well, Laurie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For taking time off from your grandbabies to hang out with us. And I think next week we are going to spend some time with Kim Anderson.
Yep. She's out of the Kalamazoo office. She's been a broker. She's done a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of different stuff.
Yep.
And she's great.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laurie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laurie.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.